Good afternoon, Chris Roellke, your president here. Thank you for taking a few moments to view this more extended video message as I outline some of the key challenges and opportunities that lie in front of us as we work together to move a Stetson education forward for our students. I have several key messages I wish to relay to you today. First, Stetson is prepared to weather the challenges of the higher education landscape, challenges for both the present and the future. We have much to celebrate and look forward to. Stetson is taking a measured, intelligent, and judicious approach to the many external pressures that are being exerted on higher education today. At Stetson, we will always remain profoundly student-centered and true to our values. In my view, Stetson's greatest strength is our kind, creative, innovative, and collaborative community, a community that is very well equipped to move forward by engaging in civil and productive discourse all rooted in seeking to improve the human condition. Together, we've got this. I also want members of our community to feel informed and to receive fair and balanced information. Please also know that our Board of Trustees and senior leadership are monitoring and analyzing the landscape, making the necessary and prudent adjustments that will equip Stetson and its people to weather significant changes that lie ahead for our sector. I also want to be very clear today that like 2/3 of the nearly 4,000 higher education institutions in the United States, Stetson is facing considerable financial constraints, and we are actively planning for trimming expenses and increasing and diversifying the university's revenue streams. I ask all of us to work together as a community to use Stetson's precious resources wisely, and even more importantly, I ask all of us to think creatively about opportunities that allow Stetson to innovate, generate new revenue, advance our reputation, and to deliver even more fully on our value proposition and the relationship-rich education we afford our students. I also hope that my message today will result in you feeling some reassurance that while these are in fact challenging and uncertain times, and there are difficult decisions that will need to be made, that we are a resilient and people-driven enterprise, and Stetson will emerge stronger as we navigate unprecedented challenges in our sector. The 4 key topics I wish to outline today are as follows. First, a progress report on Stetson's Forward Together strategic priorities. Second, an acknowledgement of the federal higher education policy landscape and its impact on Stetson. Third, I want to supply some specific commentary on our key strategic goal of comprehensive sustainability for Stetson. As a reminder, when we say comprehensive sustainability, we mean financial sustainability, sustainability with regard to human resources, and environmental sustainability. Fourth, I want to share what I believe to be key next steps at fully deploying the very best forms of experiential, contemporary, and integrative learning at Stetson. Had or Ready is the cornerstone of our strategic plan, and we must work quickly and effectively to fully operationalize these curricular imperatives. We are roughly 8 weeks away from graduating our 139th class at Stetson University, and we have much to be grateful for even in these uncertain times. Considerable progress has been made in Stetson's Forward Together strategic plan, taking Stetson from Florida gem to national treasure. I need to express my sincere thanks for the over 9 months of multi-constituent strategy and financial health deliberations that have been led by Board of Trustees member Scott Marcello and Executive Vice President Krista Bofill. Nearly every aspect of the university's operations, admissions, buildings and grounds, faculty and staff compensation, intercollegiate athletics, financial aid, and the higher education marketplace, all of this has been carefully examined in a data-rich environment to better align Stetson's limited resources with our strategic imperatives. These conversations also revealed that we have much to celebrate at Stetson during these challenging times. In the roughly 3 weeks since our last Board of Trustees meetings in the middle of February, we have done the following. We broke ground on Hulley Tower with a ceremony that packed the Rinker Welcome Center with students, faculty, staff, and alumni, and they were undaunted by the rain. Hulley Tower is a $6.7 million project entirely donor-funded and also achieved a $500,000 state historic preservation grant. Alumni traveled from all over. I've never seen such enthusiasm for a groundbreaking before. We have also held the J. Ollie Edmonds Premier Scholarship Competition. Most of these outstanding students have already accepted their offers to join the Stetson community this fall. Similarly, 17 of the 25 slots available for my own Presidential Fellows program have already been filled for the fall 2025 First Time in College cohort. These are all outstanding students who are fully prepared to take full advantage of a Stetson education. We have also hosted Leadership Stetson, the Templeton Ethics Competition, and of course, spring sports are well underway. Beach volleyball is already 10-2 and have beaten several nationally ranked teams. And our men's baseball team has secured victories over Penn State, University of Connecticut, Brigham Young University, Missouri, and Indiana University. We continue a spring schedule of prominent outside speakers presenting balanced perspectives on critical societal issues such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the future of democracy. And of course, we just held our March Hatter Saturday with nearly 200 prospective students visiting campus, and we have another Hatter Saturday scheduled for April 5th. I'd like now to comment on the national landscape. Looking outwardly at our sector, there are many things at the federal level currently requiring our attention. Our approach, guided by our mission and our values, and supported from experts such as the Association of Governing Boards, the American Council on Colleges and Universities, the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities, and of course, our own ICUF, Independent Colleges and Universities of Florida, an organization for which I will serve as presidential chair in 2026-2027. Our approach is to seek to understand, to clarify, to assess, and to respond judiciously, calmly, and methodically to the rapidly evolving higher education sector. Many of our research university colleagues are facing the potential loss of hundreds of millions of dollars in federal research funding. At Stetson, the impact is smaller, but not insignificant. Provost Scomp and our grants office have communicated with faculty and staff who are federal grant recipients and applicants, and we are receiving guidance from our grant consultant partners. The bottom line is that Stetson is very much at the table and will continue to pursue grants and research with the fullest of our capabilities. In terms of our work around inclusive excellence, we are assessing our restricted scholarships and programs to prioritize inclusiveness, all the while being true to our values and our commitment to supporting the success of all of our students. I want to thank our law school colleagues, including Carmen Johnson, Stetson's Executive Officer for Institutional Inclusive Excellence. All of our colleagues have worked hard to leverage vital conversations across all of Stetson's constituents and with support from legal counsel to ensure that Stetson is not only compliant with federal and state directives, but also that we are laser focused on supporting our students and our community. Of course, Stetson remains committed to our industry-leading freedom of expression statement, which is a model for all independent colleges and universities in Florida and well beyond. Our landscape is also characterized by a steady decline in Americans' confidence in higher education. This is because of political perceptions, cost escalations, and concerns about return on investment. While there is a decline in public confidence across all types of institutions, Stetson's profound commitment to civil discourse, civic engagement, and student success positions us very well to stand out favorably among our competitors. And of course, Americans still believe in the importance of higher education. Higher education attainment remains a vital pathway to career and life success, as well as promoting informed citizens who know how to problem solve, communicate effectively, collaborate across difference, and think critically about all sorts of issues. All of us at Stetson have heard talk about the demographic cliff of college-age students. The number of high school graduates is expected to peak this year at 3.8 million students, and it will decline about 11% over the next 15 years. While there will be competition for students, this population is expected to grow 12% in Florida during this time, with the largest demographic growth predicted in the Southeast and among a much more socioeconomically diverse student body. Here is what you need to know about Stetson in this broader context. Our mission, our values, and our vision, and our strategic plan all align to address the threats in our marketplace, and we are going to capitalize on the opportunities before us. Delivering on our value proposition through Hatter Ready, providing immersive experiences and meaningful access to faculty from the day our new students arrive on Stetson's campuses. These are the areas in which Stetson will shine and will stand out. Since my arrival at Stetson in 2020, we focused on capitalizing on Stetson's strengths and using resources wisely, and we have collectively developed the Forward Together strategic plan as our roadmap to confront these challenges and opportunities and to establish priorities that advance Stetson and the relationship-rich advantages it offers our students today. We've asked you to pay close attention to your budgets, but also to revenue-generating opportunities that make sense for Stetson. Let me be clear. We are not immune from enrollment and retention pressures that are being felt throughout our sector. During the global pandemic, Stetson was fortunate to receive roughly $9 million of support in higher education emergency relief funds from the federal government. This helped us to offset our enrollment losses. However, these funds are no longer available to assist colleges and universities as they adjust to this rapidly changing market for higher education. Smaller private institutions with a focus on liberal arts education have been particularly hard hit since the global pandemic. While our undergraduate enrollment has started to tick upward, we have not yet recovered from the effects of the pandemic, and it is also unlikely that we will fully recover from these enrollment declines. This, coupled with the aforementioned demographic cliff, means that Stetson must make strategic decisions about a number of key Stetson attributes. First, let me report on the current size of our undergraduate student body. We are at roughly 2,200 undergraduates as of spring census, with a goal of gradually increasing the size of our undergraduate student body closer to 2,800 over time. Our budget is dependent, of course, upon student enrollment, as we derive most of our revenue from net tuition revenue and room and board to fund our operations. Toward this end, we have established corresponding student-to-faculty and student-to-staff ratio goals that we will need to achieve over the next few years. To achieve comprehensive sustainability, we will need to move smartly and as quickly and as reasonably as possible to move our faculty-to-student ratio from the current 10-to-1 to 12-to-1. Our student-to-staff ratio, which currently sits at 5-to-1, will need to move toward a sustainable 7-to-1 ratio. These ratio goals, which are highly consistent with similarly situated institutional peers, will still absolutely enable Stetson to focus on relationship-rich education while promoting much-needed efficiencies in the manner in which we deliver education and related services. Our context also requires us to align operational budgets to support our mission, our students, and our strategic plan. Finally, we will need to bring even more fiscal discipline to our context in order to reduce our endowment draw over time. We are very fortunate at Stetson to have the second highest endowment value per student among all higher education institutions in our state. However, the primary purpose of the endowment at Stetson is to make this form of education affordable and accessible to students for generations to come. By rule, we spend only 4.5% of our permanent endowment annually. Our permanent restricted endowment is currently valued at roughly $300 million. Our quasi-endowment funds, which have some level of discretion in their use, is valued at roughly $100 million for a total endowment value of $400 million. Over the last few years, we have had an effective spending rate of 6.2% or higher, and this is outside the widely accepted tunnel of 4.5% to 5.5% spend rate. We are all very grateful to our Board of Trustees who have been highly appreciative of the challenging times in higher education, and they have permitted us to draw strategically from our quasi-endowment to provide raises during a period of very high inflation. We want to be sure that our endowment continues to make this form of education available to talented students for generations to come. So we will need to get our effective spend rate back into that tunnel of 4.5% to 5.5% over the next several years. I want to acknowledge the steady work that's been done since last summer to monitor the landscape and to secure Stetson's place in it for now and the future. I want to thank our senior leadership team, our Board of Trustees, and our entire community for the insights and care that have been consistent throughout this volatile period. Since 2020, we have raised approximately $230 million, record-setting fundraising. Much of this is donor restricted. This incredible fundraising has been energizing and important, but it does not yield for us a balanced budget. To date, the money raised includes roughly $60 million for student scholarships and over $14 million of faculty and academic program support. We also have an ambitious goal to raise another $120 million before I complete my second term as president, a term which has been extended to the year 2030. I'd like now to also turn to intercollegiate athletics. At its February board meeting, the Board of Trustees renewed our commitment to Division I athletics. As many of you know, intercollegiate athletics is changing dramatically at the NCAA level, and there is considerable consternation around the future of amateur athletics. Ongoing debates around name, image, and likeness, conference realignments, and a whole host of legislative and legal debates that are still ongoing. I would be remiss if I did not commend fully our new athletics leadership team led by Dr. Ricky Ray. Since his arrival at Stetson less than 1 year ago, Dr. Ray has been making substantial progress through examining regional schedules, overall staffing, ticket revenue, and other aspects of the athletics budget in order to reduce expenses over the next couple of years to achieve greater financial sustainability. Our athletic programs are important components of our overall enrollment picture and also to the student experience, and of course also to our relationship with the City of DeLand and the Central Florida region. Construction of our new residence hall is on track to open in the fall of 2026. It is one of the ways we seek to increase enrollment and retention as we create an attractive living and learning environment for incoming students. We are also preparing for the next phases of important accessibility, safety, and other renovations to our main gathering space on campus. be Edmonds Center. Changes include installing a much-needed elevator, modernizing the facade, and adding a donor-funded courtyard. Edmonds is not only important for our intercollegiate volleyball and men's and women's basketball teams, but it is also our largest campus venue for critical occasions such as commencement, convocation, homecoming, and key student recruitment events. I'd like to turn now to Hatter Ready. Our strategic plan outlines pathways forward to enhance the experiential, contemporary, and integrated learning afforded to our students. The pilot phase of Hatter Ready commenced this academic year, and this signature program initiative will only grow stronger, more expansively, and distinctively for Stetson. This is because faculty, departments, and programs are continuing to develop more efficient and achievable curricular pathways for our students so that they be well prepared for life after Stetson. At my urging, our academic deans, our faculty senate, our provost's office, and our academic departments and programs are, for example, rethinking the number of courses required to major in a discipline. They are also modernizing our curricula not only to maximize high-impact practices, but also to make sure that the curricular barriers that our students may be confronting are eliminated. All of this, of course, is to facilitate retention and graduation success. This vital curricular work and innovation allows us to significantly enhance and deliver upon our value proposition to students. We are going to engage them in life-changing experiences beyond the classroom and also to meet employer demand, all outcomes that increase public confidence in higher education more broadly and confidence in Stetson more specifically. In closing, our current climate requires us to think creatively, collaboratively, and of course, to be nimble. Stetson, again, is not alone in this. As I mentioned earlier, 2/3 of the nearly 4,000 higher education institutions in the United States are confronting significant levels of financial challenge. It is how we address these challenges that will absolutely set Stetson apart from many of our peer institutions. Please also be reassured that while these are challenging and uncertain times, and there are difficult decisions inherent in all of this, that at the end of the day, Stetson remains a kind, thoughtful, and compassionate community dedicated to uplifting others and to championing a values-based education that transforms lives. We need only to look around our campus to see opportunities for creative conversation and for collaboration. Our upcoming Revenue Summit, led by Dr. John Downey, is just one example of the kind of innovative and creative thinking that our context demands. I thank you in advance for all the collaboration and insight that is being brought to every level of Stetson University. We will continue to have important, deliberative, and intentional dialogues on campus to amplify the voices of all who work at Stetson and all who study at Stetson. I hope my message to you today has been helpful in some way. Make no mistake about it, the challenges in our sector and at Stetson are real. However, also real are the ample opportunities that this context affords us to secure a bright future for Stetson. I stand at the ready as your president to support and value your work, to communicate regularly with you, and to collaborate with you, and to work collectively with you to advance Stetson's mission. Thank you for your time today. I very much appreciate all of the collective efforts to move Stetson forward together to take our university from Florida gem to national treasure. Go Hatters!